Hi guys, and welcome to the first ever Shot on Target podcast. My name is David Major, and with me I have Zach Tucker, the Villa fan,
Hello.
and I have Tom King, who is a Hammers fan.
You alright there, guys?
So, we met at college about a year ago now, doing creative media. And to say we were passionate about our football would probably be an understatement. We've had a fair few debates, discussions, and quite possibly even arguments, if you will. But we decided if we're that good at doing it in real life, why don't we put it into a podcast and share it with you guys? Which is exactly what we've done. So each week we're going to have a couple of main topics which we're going to discuss, and we're going to also be doing some transfer rumours here and there as and when they pop up. And then we're going to have some predictions at the end of the video as well. Now, this week, we're going to get straight down into Project Restart in the English Premier League. We've got a little bit about the Bundesliga restart, some transfer rumours for you. Obviously, as we heard in the last week, EFL League 1 and 2s ended early. We'll have a look at the promotions and relegations there. And then, obviously, those famous predictions. So, we'll get straight down into it. But before we do, be sure to give us a like on Twitter, follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and give this video a big thumbs up. So, Zach, what do you think is going to happen with Project Restart?
Well, I think any football fan would say it's going to be completely different, and I think you could agree with me on that one. Liverpool, they've run away with the title this season, so I think they just need to play their games to win it mathematically, and I think so. The main focus will be on relegation. So speaking from a Villa fan, obviously we're 19th at the minute with a game in hand to play Wednesday. It's going to be completely different, as I said. There's going to be no crowds, no home, no away crowds. So Then the substitutions that's gone up to 5 now.
Oh yeah, I completely forgot about that.
So it's completely different.
That's going to impact it quite a lot.
I think it's unnecessary though.
Managers. Well, I don't know whether it's maybe necessary, but I think maybe it's kind of to obviously with fit coming back like after such a long time out. I know players have been doing fitness at home, but obviously there's going to be players that obviously aren't back quite to that level of fitness quite yet.
Yeah.
So I think it's just easing into it a little bit more and giving them a little bit more leeway.
And it also gives because there's the amount of substitutions on the bench has gone up from 7 to 9. So it also gives a couple of the youths maybe to sit on the bench and maybe play a bit of game time as well.
And possibly they could like what am I trying to think of? Because usually in like under 23 squads they play with like zero crowd, so this could be like a perfect platform for the youth.
Yeah.
Because I remember watching.
Yeah, I agree.
Who was I watching?
It's sort of like a bit of homely feeling, because obviously if they don't play in front of anyone normally, then it's just going to be kind of natural for them.
That was it. I remember now. It was I was watching West Ham play the under 23s against Fulham, I think it was, and I think it was this guy called Jordan Silva or Jacan Silva. He's Portuguese. He was brilliant. Like he could be a top striker in the future, and I think David Moyes has put him into the first team squad now as a probably sub and possibly a starting player. So it's definitely a good start for youth players.
Yeah. I mean, I've always been a big supporter of bringing younger players through the academy, and giving them that chance to kickstart their career within that team. Obviously, not all of them do, but I mean, obviously, speaking from an Arsenal perspective, we've got some great young players that have broken into the team really well over the past year and a half. So obviously Bukayo Saka, Joe Willock, Reece Nelson, Eddie Nketiah, obviously, and then Gabriel Martinelli this season. And they've honestly hit the ground running, and it's brilliant to see like young talent like that looking so at home in a first team squad.
Yeah.
Can I just also say, get your opinions on this. I've sort of heard about neutral venues for some of the games.
There's no point because
I think it's to
Yeah, I mean,
stop crowds coming outside of the stadium, and
I mean,
yeah,
because
from a safety perspective, I can see where that's coming from.
yeah,
But obviously, there was news in the past couple of days that the Merseyside derby will be played at Goodison Park. It's not going to be at a neutral venue.
yeah.
Liverpool City Council confirmed that. But I think it's not really to do with the ground not being suitable. It's more to do with the fact that they don't want people turning up, as you said, Zach.
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at the stat. Obviously, this is going into the Bundesliga, but the stats that you looked up earlier this week, Zach, of
Yeah.
the Bundesliga's home sides before the restart were victorious. What is that? Victorious in 46% of their matches, while the away side just won. What was it 26%? And that was before the restart. But now,
Yeah.
27 after the once the reset started, 27 games have been played since this research was acquired, and the away side have won 12, and the home side have only just won 5. So 19% of games were won for the home side. So now they weren't playing at neutral grounds. They were just doing it as normal. They just carried on the fixtures as it should be, and if it was a neutral ground, so say for instance if it was a London derby, let's say Arsenal West Ham for example, played at Wembley, empty stands, only like 30 people that work in there, and that kind of setting, I don't feel like it will make an effect, really.
I mean, I think fans have such a massive part to play.
Oh yeah, they're the 12th man.
Without, honestly, there is the saying, obviously, without fans, football is nothing. I mean,
Strongly agree
it's
with that.
not.
Strongly agree.
Obviously, because it's a sport, obviously, it's for the players as well. They enjoy it. It's a job. It's a profession. But football would be nowhere near as popular if it wasn't for the fans. And I don't think that there'd be quite as much money. In fact, I don't think there'd be anywhere near as much money involved in football if it wasn't for the fans.
Yeah.
And I think you'd
And also, in Villa Park, we have a banner across the whole tent which says "Whole Tent, the 12th man."
Yeah.
I think without sort of the atmosphere coming from the whole tent, that's going to change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we go further down, so obviously we'll come to the EFL a little bit more later, but I think as you go further down the leagues, the atmosphere, I think the smaller the ground is, the better the atmosphere is, because everyone's together as one. It's closer to the action.
And it's only just one stand.
And
It's only just one stand.
yeah. Well, also, it's, how do I put this? Because a lot of lower leagues, the fans that go, it's their local team.
Oh yeah.
Like they're not traveling a long way to get there unless it's obviously an away game. But they all live close to the ground. It's their hometown. It's their home team. So obviously, I think that pays. That pays. It does pay. Yeah. It plays a massive part in football.
Yeah. So
enough about the Premier League for now. We'll look at a little bit more at the Bundesliga now. And obviously, I've got a little bit of a stat here. And I think I wanted to sort of look at if the restart is going to change the way that managers set up the team and the way that the team goes about things.
Yeah.
And the stat I've got here is last season, every Bundesliga match had an average of 3.18 goals. And since the restart, the goals it's been a lot less. I mean, since restart, I think the amount of sort of 1-0s and 2-1 games it's been
It's
quite substantial.
Like you look at the Dortmund versus Bayern Munich, and that finished 1-0. And I was
that
expecting
was a boring game. I'm
7,
sorry.
8 goals in that match.
That was so boring.
I think everyone hyped it up, and I think BT Sport, like, obviously their media team didn't really have anything else to advertise at the time. Everyone was like, "Oh, Der Klassiker, you know, it's going to be a massive
Who's going to
game."
win? Who's going to win the title from this? Da, 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 da. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. Essentially, that game did, realistically, it has sort of decided the title. Because, I mean, Bayern are now however many points clear.
Actually, I'm pretty sure Bayern Munich are 2 wins away from winning the title. 2 wins away.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter about Bayern Munich's results, Bayern Munich's, Borussia Dortmund's results.
Yeah.
But yeah, Bayern Munich needs, if they win 2 more games, they've won the title. And
I saw something the other day where it was if Dortmund lose their next game and Bayern Munich win it, then they get the title.
Yeah, so it's
really?
it's already in the bag. Really, it's obviously they still have to finish off the season, because obviously you got things like Werner Bremen, Dusseldorf, maybe, if I'm right, Paderborn, and
Paderborn.
Yeah, so we need to see what they're doing.
But I mean, it's different in the Bundesliga, because what we don't have in the UK that they do is a playoff.
Yeah.
So they're not. If a team's just above, they're not in a relegation zone. I think it's actually quite a good idea. I think maybe I would be interested to see if it was implemented in the Prem. I think that'd be quite interesting to see that.
I remember
because it also gives it gives teams that maybe only just got relegated perhaps the chance to get out. I don't know quite how it works, but I think it's
like
a team that are just above the relegation.
I watched the
they get to play.
I watched the last season's one, and I think it was Stuttgart against Union Berlin, and they do 2 legs, and it's the team that finished third from bottom and third from top in the Bundesliga 2 or Liga 2 or wherever they call it, and they do a 2-leg fixtures, and then obviously it goes down to aggregate, and Union Berlin won that. It's definitely entertaining to watch. I remember watching both games, and it was a lot more interesting than a normal game, really. And it kind of it kind of makes a bit more suspension. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, let's just go with that, okay? I didn't word it properly, all right? But no, it's definitely interesting to watch.
Yeah, I mean, coming back to just about the fans as well, I just thought this. I remember when I watched the first Dortmund game, I was looking, I saw that they obviously Dortmund have that famous yellow wall that's usually present in numbers at every home game. And the 2 things I picked up on were the fact that, one, it was just so weird not looking behind the goal and just seeing that massive block of support and noise.
Just yellow and because when I remember there was I saw a picture and you actually saw what the stands looked like. I'm pretty sure there's a certain part of the Signa Park. There's a certain part of it. It's literally just all standing, and I'm pretty sure some of the bits of wood. And it was quite. I was just like, "What? We're in 2020, and there's this club who have wooden stands, and they're playing Champions League football." I'm pretty sure it's wooden.
I think that's part of it. That's just part of the history. It's part of the originality of the club. It's their kind of signature thing. I mean, apart from about anywhere else that's got, or any other team that calls their main stand. I think that'd be their main stand. If I was a Dortmund fan, I'd call it the main stand. But so say Arsenal played in red, like I don't think any other team have like a red wall or a blue wall or a green or whatever colour wall.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've just got that calibre of fans. And also the other thing I noticed was that even though they weren't there, they went and thanked the yellow wall as they always
Right.
do.
I mean, I think that was a bit of. I think it's a bit of mockery. It is mockery.
I mean, it might have been, but for me, it was actually quite symbolic. You know that like a lot of fans would say, "Oh, the players don't really care. They don't really appreciate the support." But actually, that kind
Some
of
players
proves
don't care.
that they really do.
Some
Yeah,
players don't care.
but that actually proves that. Well, some of them don't, but a lot of them actually do really appreciate the support. You know,
And you often
and that.
see on like the Twitter or the Instagram pages after a game before coronavirus was a thing, you'd often see, "Oh, great game today, and thanks for all the following support." And then you
Or
can often see
that's
that.
the thing. Does the media, like the social platform, do they like say, please say this, that? It sounds staged, but sometimes it's meaningful, but sometimes it's not. So it depends on the player really. If they're just going for
And if they're like playing at the club,
yeah, if they're playing for the big bucks, or just playing for loyalty, like Mark Noble. Pick up Mark Noble. Sorry.
yeah, okay.
Anyway,
That's a good thing to move
moving
on.
on lightly.
What do we do now? Transfer
Obviously,
rumors or EFL?
I was going to look at EFL. Obviously, what's happened in the past couple of days. Obviously, it's been announced that League One and League Two will be officially curtailed early.
Yeah.
With from League One, Coventry and Rotherham going up via automatic promotion. Coventry as champions. And then you have Fleetwood and Wickham and Oxford and Portsmouth in the playoffs.
Yep.
And then down the bottom, I believe we have Southend, Tranmere and Bolton going down to League Two. And in League Two, you have
Swindon.
I believe Swindon a champion, then Plymouth and Crewe via automatic promotion, then Colchester, Northampton, and I can't remember the other two that come up.
It was Northampton Town and Exeter City. I've got a
Exeter, yeah.
I've got a prompt on screen right now showing us the tables.
Yeah, so you've got Exeter, Northampton, who we don't really like, but oh well.
But hang on, I'm just looking though, because in League Two,
Hang on.
you got positions 1, 2, and 3 get automatic promotion, but then you got 4, 5, 6 do a playoff. That's 4 teams going up. Oh, because what was it? Bury were in the.
Bury, yeah.
So what happens with that?
Can I just quickly? Shall we?
4 teams go up anyway.
Oh,
Shall we explain
yeah,
why we
okay.
don't like Northampton quickly?
Oh yeah, that's a good point actually.
That would be fun, wouldn't it? Yeah, we don't really like them.
Well,
We're not going to really get into the ins and outs of why we don't like them, but it is what you would call a local derby for our local lot, the Dons. The real Dons, might I add. But yeah, so they're just. We've got one junction of the M1. If you head up one more junction, you've got Northampton. So it's a bit of a derby. But
because that's our local team, so it's more.
Yeah.
That is our local team, who have also stayed up and are safe for another season under Russ Martin.
Barely though.
I think we would have stayed up anyway.
Yeah, I
To
mean,
be honest,
I think
it gave me a lot of confidence.
Yeah, the home games would have the fan well not many turn up, do they? Apart from the cowshed.
But I mean,
Yeah.
despite not filling out the stadium, we've got better support than a lot of other teams. I mean,
yeah.
our home, honestly, I'd say it's one of the best in the league for the amount of fans that we get to each game. Like even though we don't fill the stadium, we're constantly
9,000?
making noise.
Yeah.
I think that was
That's
about.
around the average,
Yeah.
9,000, 10,000. But yeah, so it's we make a good noise. We do make a good noise.
But at least we secured League One for next season. That's the good thing. That's a good thing.
Yeah. I think we started badly, and I think if we hadn't had that, I think if we'd have started the way that we did when we finished, I think we'd have had a mid-table finish. I think
Yeah.
Easily.
would have been a lot higher. We wouldn't have been in a relegation scrap. But I mean, it just shows you just how much changing a manager did.
Yeah.
Because we had and we were in the relegation zone. We were second from bottom. And then you had Russ Martin came in, and within about a month, we were up and level on points with the teams just outside the relegation zone. So, I mean, it just shows you how much of an effect that he had on the squad.
Yeah.
Nice.
So, what do you think that it's the right call that they've ended the leagues, or do you think that they could have carried on?
See, that's the thing. There's how many games left were there for the League 1 and 2? I can't remember.
Oh, you're putting me on the spot now.
It's a good,
I think
it's
there was
good
about
7-8 games left.
9,
Yeah.
about 7 or 8 games, I believe.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's more teams in that league than the Championship and more than the Premier League. So
Well, yeah.
it's kind of, I feel like they should have, because to be honest, Wickham, although they're another rival to us, the Buckinghamshire. Did I say that right? I'm slurring my words today. I don't know why. I think it's just today. It's just been an odd day.
He's been on the booze all day.
No, but yeah, I think Wickham they had 2 games in hand, and I think they were. I think obviously they're in the playoffs now. But if they played the rest, if all the teams actually had the same amount of played games, I think that table would have changed a lot. I think it would have changed so much.
You could say it's unfair on the teams that, like Sunderland, that just missed out on.
Yeah,
playoffs.
that is the one thing. That is the one downside to it,
And
because obviously a lot of teams they've been working really hard to get.
On that Netflix series, season 3 of
Sunderland till I
Die.
die.
Here we go.
Season 7,
Oh, yeah.
still in League 1.
Only one episode.
Yeah,
One-off special.
Christmas special.
Christmas special. We have the chance in the playoffs again. We mess it up. I'm sorry, Sunderland fans. I'm sorry, but you just got.
Sunderland fans, don't hate us, but it was a little bit ironic.
I don't
Christmas episode.
I don't want to get cancelled on our first episode. All right, please. But no,
we're really joking, Sunderland fans. Anyway, so obviously that is a little bit harsh, and I think a lot of the reason that League One was so difficult is because a lot of teams had worked really hard, and then the points per game basis had kind of given a lot of teams more points than they already had. So a lot of them were thinking, okay, it's an unfair advantage. We don't really want that. But for me, like, I think it's the right thing to do, because not only is it, I don't think it's safe to do so, we don't have the resources, but a lot of clubs don't have the money. I mean, Accrington Stanley came out and said that it would have cost them getting on for 100 grand to restart. And
that's quite a lot for a small club, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people might think that these clubs just have that money, but
They really
for a
don't.
club as small as Accrington Stanley, I mean, you've all heard the jokes like, Accrington Stanley, who are they? Because, you know, they're that small. But that we just don't have the money. And I think it's beneficial to a lot of teams just to cut it now and then you know, start again whenever it's, you know, safe to do so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So anyway, we move on to a few transfer rumours now. So obviously we've already got one. We've already got one confirmed transfer in Timo Werner, who will be
playing in blue at the bridge. Annoyingly.
Stolen from Liverpool.
I mean,
I think Lampard's done a bit of a madness, to be honest. He's done very good business. I mean, he's already got Hakim Ziyech through the door.
I think he's
Timo
solid player.
Werner through the door.
Solid player.
Yeah, he's got Timo Werner through the door. I think if Chelsea can sort out their defence for next season, I think
Champions League.
that we could see them. I think we could see them challenging for the title a little bit more predominantly.
I think
Yeah.
I watched.
Yeah.
Who did I watch? I think it was I watched Spencer's live stream on this whole Werner situation, and I'm not quoting him quote by quote, but he said that because obviously they had a transfer ban last season, or well, this season actually, and
Mhm.
obviously clubs have in the league now have spent in that transfer window, has let off some, but they spent money in that window. Chelsea haven't. So obviously they've saved possibly quite a few millions on transfer fees. So that's why they're splashing the big bucks on these players like Ziyech, Werner, and possibly Chilwell. But obviously they've got Man City to fight for that.
But the thing is, though, I don't. Do they really need a left back? I mean, you've got Marcos Alonso, who I think, for me, he's one of the better defenders there. But that also begs the question: do City need a left back?
And then that could.
I mean, who's left back currently? Is that Zinchenko, who's currently left back
Zinchenko,
there?
yeah.
Yeah, but obviously, if Man City need to release some players, obviously I saw West Ham were interested in Ziyech, and I think that would be a solid signing for us. Obviously, I've got the prompt up on screen right now showing you the transfer that we'll be highlighting today. But no, yeah, City are challenging for a new centre back, left back, and Chilwell is actually one of those players. But obviously, they have to fight for Chelsea for the signing of Ben Chilwell.
Mhm.
But it's more.
He's a good English as well, which is nice to see.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at the research that I did. Sorry to interrupt, but I did a little bit of research and what was it? The English left back wants to join Chelsea, and Frank Lampard is aware of this. But if the deal breaks down with Chilwell, Chelsea could turn their heads to Ajax left back Nicolas Tagliafico, and so signing
Chelsea shopping at Ajax supermarket, are they?
Yeah, I mean,
just walking down the aisle, I'll have a bit of that,
Obviously, they were big
just
in the transfer window.
Ajax.
What was it, last season? De Ligt, Frankie de Jong, who else left? Donny van de Beek stayed, but he could be out the window this season as well.
De Ligt went to Juve.
Or Pantilimon Calciero on FIFA 20. But no, go on.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, they've got quite sufficient funds, but I mean, I'm looking here at what Chelsea and Man City value in it. So they value him at 50 mil, but then Leicester wants 70 million for him.
Yeah, I think that's,
and I mean,
that's the.
I'm not really sure about that, but you've only got to look at the fact that Harry Maguire went from Leicester to United last summer for 85 mil?
Yeah, I was about to say. I think because they might have the cheek to get a little bit more extra bucks because of the Harry Maguire situation. They were like, could we get a bit more money for Chilwell? Let's just add a little bit of spice onto that and boosh.
Yeah. I mean, the fact is they're making a mad profit out of this.
Oh,
so I don't know how much they got Harry Maguire for in the first place, but I can't imagine it'd have been more than 30 million.
No.
So they sold him
less,
on for
less 10 mil from Hull City.
A bit like that. So they've made about a 70 million profit.
That's big bucks.
And I think did Chilwell come through their academy?
I'm not too sure. I didn't really do research on Chilwell. I was just focusing on the transfer rumour.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, he wouldn't have come from much as well. He'd have been about 5 or 10 mil. But then he's now worth, according to Leicester, about 70 million. So there again, that's another 60 million profit. So what, 70?
I've got
130 million.
I've got a guest now. I've got my dog coming in.
The dog come to join.
Share his opinion.
But
yeah. But no, sorry, continue.
They've made a quite tidy 130 million profit. I mean, that's good business. I don't know about you, but if my team made that profit off players, then I'd be quite happy with that.
But I would like to go back to the Werner to Chelsea situation. Obviously, what I've written down was Chelsea have agreed on a deal for the RB Leipzig striker Timo Werner. Chelsea have supposedly bidded a £54 million price tag on Werner. Obviously, I'm not too sure if that was completely true or not, but he will be playing in the Bridge next season. However, will that mean a departure for Loney at Aston Villa? What is it? 2 seasons ago now? Would it be?
Last season.
Last season would be Tammy Abraham. Will we see him leave Chelsea because of Werner?
That's an interesting one because you've got Giroud there as well, and
Giroud, Batshuayi.
Can't say his name. Yeah, you see that would be 4 strikers battling for a main.
And I feel like they'll be playing the three up front formation. So really, they need to get rid of at least 2 of their strikers. And I could see Tammy leaving.
Werner plays on the right, if I'm right.
What did you say?
He plays on the right-hand side, doesn't he? He doesn't play, or does he play in the main striker role?
Who, Tammy?
No, Werner.
Werner. Oh no, he can play anyway. He can play left wing, right wing, striker. But that's the thing. They have Pulisic.
Tammy would want to stay.
He would want to
fight for his position.
Obviously, anyone would. Playing for Chelsea. I mean, I wouldn't want to.
I think for Tammy Abraham, I think a move outside of any top 8 club would be a mistake. Yeah. It would be a massive mistake for his career.
For him, but for the club that he moves to would be, say for instance, he moves to Aston Villa, for example, if they stay up. Surely, would he go to Aston Villa if they were in the Championship next season? No, let's be honest.
No way. His wages would be. He would want higher wages as well, wouldn't he?
And you would be screwed basically because he would want.
Realistically, if we went down, we'd have to have a complete restart. We'd have to sell Grealish, McGinn, all of these solid players. So Tammy would not come in if would need to start fresh completely.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll say for instance, Aston Villa stayed up. Do you think Tammy will join Aston Villa?
Probably not. As a Villa fan, I know he has a soft spot for Villa, but I don't think he will. I think that would be the wrong decision for him. I'm completely honest. As much as I'd love him to see him in a Villa shirt again, I don't think it's possible.
So I lost my train of thought now. So obviously they've got Batshuayi, and recently I saw transfer rumours with West Ham and Batshuayi, and I am confused why West Ham are considering a £40 million bid for Batshuayi, who I think I just butchered his name. So sorry. I don't care. I don't want him because £40 million for the Belgian striker who humiliated himself by kicking the ball at a post and back into his face. I don't want that. I don't want that. What I do want at West Ham though is the next bullet point I actually wrote in the in my notes. And could West Ham do a young squad rebuild? I've put down here. Excuse me. David Moyes has many transfer targets aged 25 or under from lower or foreign leagues as he looks to create an RB Leipzig model, taking gambles on young, hungry players who are yet to prove themselves at the Premier League level. However, West Ham will not make any moves in the transfer market until they are sure which division they will be playing in next season. And obviously, I got that from Claret and Hugh on Twitter. Was it Claret and H on Twitter? So I'm excited for that.
I mean,
I like the sound of that. David Moyes.
I would be as well, but see, the thing for me
it's a risky one.
Yeah,
it's all well and good having a young squad, but yeah, like you say, it's very risky because then you've got no experience.
But then that's the likes of Mark Noble and who else? That's it.
Well, exactly. He's getting old as well.
He's getting old. We got Declan Rice, but
yeah, but obviously
go on about it.
I don't. honest, I don't. I
He-
don't.
but like you it's a tough one that because I think he's taking a big gamble there.
But-
That is a very big gamble.
But I like what David Moyes said. Although there was loads of different options. I think when he came in, I was a bit, why did we re-sign him? The board, I disagreed with the board, but from the recent kind of news reports that I've seen of David Moyes, he's actually given me hope because
Can I
go on.
can I just say something quickly?
Go on.
Because I think if you were to do a squad rebuild, I personally think because if you were to sack Moyes and you brought in a manager which doesn't want those sort of plans in your club, then you're gonna have to change it up completely again, and then
Yeah.
it's a waste of money.
But that's a tough one because really I can't remember if David Moyes has got half a year. Well, he's got the rest of this season and next season on his contract. I'm not too sure how long it was. I can't remember. But I'm definitely think he's thinking ahead. He's thinking that he's going to stay at the club for a lot more than a season and a half. So that's why he's made that speculation of signing championship players. I can list a few. You've got Ollie Watkins from Brentford, solid striker who's proved himself this season. We've got Eze from QPR, who's actually been very good this season as well. Again,
Solid.
Matty Cash, another decent English young player who plays in defence.
From Forest, isn't it?
Not in Forest yet. And then we've got Saeed Benrahma, who's possibly could be the next. What's his name? I forgot his name now. Mahrez, that's it. Obviously, Villa Villa have been also interested in Saeed, but
because he played for Dean Smith when Dean Smith was at Brentford.
Yep.
So if he came to Villa, that might entice him a bit.
A bit,
Not too sure,
but the price tags that
I think that does give Villa an edge.
Gone. Thought you were saying something then.
No, I was just saying that. No, it does give Villa a bit of an edge. That obviously because if he's worked under him before, then obviously he knows how he works, and if the player liked working under him,
then that could
under
give you
Dean
the
Smith,
head,
then obviously
But
it's a big step in the right direction for him.
But Brentford have put ridiculous price tags on him. I think they've put Ollie Watkins down for like 20 or 25 million, and the same for Benrahma, 15 to 25 mil. Is that
didn't they say?
Do you think that's too much for a Championship player? In my opinion, I think that's too much. I think that's on the edge of like a Leeds player.
It could be a little bit steep, but I mean, if you think about it, that's going to go a long way to funding them. Obviously, as a smaller club, that money will go a long way towards different things. But I mean, I can see why they would have put that on, but I do think it is a little bit steep for a Championship player. I don't think because obviously you don't know how well they're going to fit in with your squad.
Exactly.
So you don't want to be spending out money if you're not 100% sure if it's going to work. Because if it then turns out to not work, then you've lost a load of money and you've now got a space filled up in your roster that you then, it's of no value to you. It's of no credit.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same again. I saw QPR put a price tag of 20 million for, I can't say his first name, but Eze, like I mentioned earlier. They put 20 million on his head. Now, again, stupid price tag for a player who has no experience in the Premier League, but because he's attracting big clubs like West Ham and I think Man United, Chelsea, possibly Spurs. I can't remember, but you've got top clubs looking at these type of players. So that's why these Championship clubs have put a high price tag because they know.
You say that though, because when Grealish was in the Championship, when we were in the Championship, and we had this financial fair play issue. We didn't know whether he was going to go or not that season. We originally put a price tag of 20 million on him, and he's quality in the Premier League. Let's be honest. I think he's done better than I thought he originally was going to do this season.
Yeah,
so he could. Yeah, I think Ezzy could be like that.
It's a tough one because obviously Grealish, I admit he's a solid player. Obviously, he's worth more than 20 million now. I would say even more, 40 million.
40, 50 million. Easily,
I would agree with that because I think if he was in the squad like Man United, as he's been rumoured multiple times, he will get 15 plus goals each season. Obviously, because he has the caliber of Man United's midfield with like the likes of Paul Pogba if he stayed. But no, he will be getting loads of goals if he went to a top side squad, and if you went down, go on, David.
I mean, I wouldn't mind about Arsenal, to be fair. I really would not mind about.
I reckon he needs to be playing like Champions League football, Europa football.
I think it's a bit too early at the minute, but definitely in the future.
Long time,
yeah. But if you went down, he is going. I have to say he's going. He's going if you're going down. And
I'm trying not to think about that, but it was sad enough when Benteke left a few years back.
Oh, he was brilliant for you.
Now, thought of Grealish going is really sad.
It's like the same for us with Declan Rice. Like if we went down, Declan Rice is unfortunately gone. Really, because the money difference between Championship and the Premier League is quite steep. So you have to get rid of your big players like Haller, Declan Rice, your Grealish, possibly John McGinn for Villa. So it's. Yeah.
I'd like to think. It's not just about the money. I'd like to also think that it's probably more about the player's career as well, because you don't want to be going backwards.
Yeah.
If you've progressed yourself to that level, you don't want to then backtrack and go backwards in your career, and in the long run, that's going to damage your career quite a bit. Because you were at that level, but then you've dropped off it because you're in a lower caliber side. But
you've made a good point.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of variables and there's a lot of ifs and buts and maybes, and it's all very much speculation at the minute. But we'll move on a little bit now. So obviously, a week from when we film this now, so a week today, and then when it comes out, it'll be 2 days from now.
We have to stay on top of that.
We've got
because the amount
Arsenal away. We've got Arsenal away at City, and obviously Villa are hosting Sheffield United. Now, for me, I think I'm going to keep this a bit brief, but for me, I think out of all the Project Restart games, so we've got 4 fixtures announced, and I think if we don't get at least 9 or 10 points, I'm going to be really disappointed with that, because we've got lower league sides in the next 3 after the City game. But I'm actually going to put my neck on the line here. I think we could get something at City. I really do, because I mean, you look at our test.
I can see
for 2 years he sat next to their manager, and if there's any other manager in the league that knows how City work, it's Arteta.
But obviously, Man City brought in another assistant manager now. I can't remember his name, but I think he's recently moved in. Last week? And I
don't know.
But obviously,
I mean, we know City better than any other team now. Yeah. I think with form gone out the window, I mean, I think we could nick something. I really do.
Yeah. Obviously, I'll bring up the fixtures slide that I made earlier this week. So yeah. So have you gone for a Man City win for your prediction?
No, I'm going to go for I'm
Oh, this is
That
good.
face.
That's good. That's
Did
some
you see
good.
that face?
That's some good internet connection right there.
Oh,
We'll be right back after this short message. David's internet is trash.
anyway,
Oh,
we'll just come back on that.
Right, we're
thanks for
back.
taking a
We're
photo
back,
of
boys.
that
Nothing
face.
happened. Nothing happened. We're alright. Let's keep it live. No, we don't want this. We don't want to get cancelled. I don't want to get cancelled, guys.
Anyway, slight technical hitch there, you know. Lockdown podcast. There's the joys of that.
David's internet's trash.
But yeah. We'll discuss that anyway.
Says that
social
while going.
media.
Yeah.
This is
I
now
think
where
a
we
2-all draw.
insert the boop and go back to
Sorry, where do we leave off?
I think
You were going for a Man City 1-1 draw.
Nah, I'm gonna go for a 2-all draw.
2-2 draw. Okay. Now, it's Man City up against Arsenal, mid-table against second place. Man City are easily gonna win. I'm sorry, Man City are gonna win it easily 2-0. Just early
Okay.
early goal,
Oh, come on, put some respect on the name. We're gonna get a goal.
mate.
Oh, come on.
I'm looking into the camera right now, mate. Arsenal are Oh, I swore on the podcast,
You're
guys.
gonna have to beat that out, you know.
Oh, I swore on the podcast. Oh no. Sorry, that was my London rival coming out of me. I'm sorry, guys. Right, okay.
Anyway,
What was
let me say my prediction.
Yeah, go on.
Going to be a tight one. I'm going 1-0 Manchester City.
Oh, that's just so boring. Boring.
If I'm right,
He's
then
looked at the stats from the Bundesliga. I think he's gone with that. But anyway, so the next game, Zach, we're coming to you. Sheffield United are coming to Villa Park.
Jeez, we gotta wrap this
Yeah.
up. We gotta wrap this up. We need to, you know.
okay. Well, I'm going to share my thoughts and then I'm going to share my prediction.
And then we'll speak.
Go
on.
Right.
So obviously, if Sheffield win, they're going to push into a European spot, and if we win, we're out of the relegation zone. And I think Bournemouth and someone else.
No, it would just be Bournemouth.
Bournemouth go into the relegation zone. So obviously both important games. A must-win for Villa.
Must win. Would be massive win for you.
If we lose, then my hopes have gone for survival just that little bit.
It's one of the. I'm like, sorry to like interrupt you, but I'm looking at the screen right now, and you've got Sheffield, Chelsea, Newcastle, Wolves. Realistically,
Yeah.
Sheffield is your must-win.
That is a must-win.
Purely because if
And I think Newcastle, we could get some points in Newcastle, but
we'll come to
we can
that
come
in a
to
bit.
that win.
Yeah, but
I think if I give you, I want to say my prediction, and we can go from there. I am gonna be biased, and because both teams are off form, I'm going to go 2-1 Villa. But I think Sheffield United will score first. I think we'll come back and win the game.
I think there'll be VAR kind of like VAR. Yeah, it will be in.
Yeah,
place,
it
won't
is coming back. Unfortunately,
I think there's going to be some first game back. VAR is going to be like 5 minutes just sitting there. Someone starts coughing in the stand. Oh crap!
VAR zooms in front of someone.
Stay away
Well,
from
the
this man.
cameraman.
But I feel like it'll be a 1-0.
Checking Corona. Sorry.
I don't. Are we allowed to say this? We're new to this.
I don't know.
I'm not too
I don't
sure.
know.
I'm not too sure if we should
We'll
be
find
saying
out.
this on YouTube because there's
We'll
like
be demonetized on the first episode.
I don't think we get monetized for a good couple more like 30 episodes, so it's all right,
Yeah,
boys.
we'll
It's
give it
all right. But no, I'm going for a 1-1 draw.
For me,
Equaliser
I
from Sheffield.
just looking at where Sheffield United are, and honestly a standout in the league this season.
Shock of the season.
Yeah, definitely. Underdogs, I don't even think that was an understatement, honestly. But they've literally come out of the blocks absolutely firing, and somehow they've managed to go from League One about 3 years ago to sixth in the Premier League. I think for a club like Sheffield United, they're back where they belong, realistically. But
100%.
yeah, I think I'm gonna have to go with Sheffield United on this. I think we'll be tight. But I think I'm gonna have to go with. I'm gonna go with 2-1 Sheffield United.
Who's going to score first?
I think you will, and then Sheffield United will score and come back.
Yeah, our
I think-
defence has been shocking this season, let's be honest.
I've gone the opposite to you. I think Sheffield United have just got the edge. I really do think.
Mhm. Fair enough. Well, I guess we'll see in the next episode. We can discuss what actually happened.
Yeah. So we move on to West Ham finally. Our first game back to the Premier League restart is, I think it's the 20th. So that will be Saturday, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
That's the 20th, yeah.
Yeah. So we play Wolves at home, and that will be a very, very tough game.
I'm interested to see what happens here. For
I
me, I think I want to say that you're not going to get a lot out of it,
no,
but
it's
then I think you might
we might
maybe
because looking at the training videos that West Ham put on their YouTube channel over the last 2 weeks of training.
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that we could do some damage to Wolves, but I haven't been checking on Wolves. I don't know how they've been doing, like in training wise. But
I mean,
purely going from like their form before the restart. Obviously, that's kind of there's no point on form anymore. But I feel like we're not going to win that game. I would like to win, obviously, but I don't think we will. I think it'll be either.
Can I just say, atmosphere won't make a difference at a London stadium
Mate,
because you don't have any atmosphere, fans or no fans. So.
Mate, okay, you are pushing it, mate. Just because you sit just because you sit right next to the grass doesn't mean you have the best support in the league. All right? Yes, you're good.
And you can't say that we're silent because you know that we sing and shout whether we're losing, we're winning, or we're drawing.
How do I kick people from Discord?
The only
how
thing
do I
that's noticeable about West Ham fans is the blowing bubbles at the start. That's all I notice.
No, because
I'm leaving it
the
there.
reason why the support is terrible is because our team is terrible. We've had a terrible season. If our team was doing sick, we would be singing our hearts out. Apart from the bloody bubbles.
you should do that anyway.
No.
You should do that anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to move on from your little cat fight. All right.
Yeah.
So,
I don't know what that.
I think I'm going to go with a 3-1 Wolves for me.
What? The mockery.
You didn't even think that my lot would score. So there you go. Have a bit of that.
Hey, at least Jared Bowen scores. I don't care. But I didn't even predict myself. I think it's the win. Well, I hope we win. We're not gonna win. If we push our luck, we get a draw. If we don't, we're gonna get slapped like 3-0. But I'm gonna go for a 1-1 draw. I'm just gonna go 1-1 draw.
Ambitious, but fair enough. Zach, what do you reckon?
0-0.
Oh, you're boring, right?
Ooh.
Right, we're moving on.
No,
we're moving on.
I'm thinking tactically about the Bundesliga and how it could compare to the Premier League. And if you're up for the fight and Wolves, yeah.
I'm more excited about
Well,
I'm more excited about the away games really because that's where it could really be the turning point really. I said really so many times. Moving on, right? Arsenal against Brighton. Arsenal.
Hang on, can I just quickly say something?
Oh my god! All right.
When Liverpool have won the league and it's confirmed, do you think they'll slack off a bit, or do you think they'll continue there?
No, they'll go for the How close are they to the 100-point mark?
I don't know, but they'll want to get.
Points now.
They'll try and push. They'll push for the 100 points in the Premier League.
Man City done that a few seasons back, didn't they? They got.
They'll try and break that.
So moving on to Arsenal's next 3 fixtures. So Brighton, Norwich, and I believe
it's Brighton, Southampton, Norwich, like in that order.
Brighton, I'm not going to do an exact score prediction for all of those, but what I am going to say is I do expect to get 9 points out of that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I would expect to be winning all of those games. I believe two are at home and one is away, isn't it?
The other way around, mate. 2 Brighton away, Southampton away, Oh mate, are we going into the Matrix or something? Like what? Wait,
I don't know what the hell's happened.
Wait, which way have you gone?
Oh, am I the other way around now?
Oh my god,
I'm the
mate,
other way around. Hang on.
we're getting cancelled on our first episode. No,
We've
no.
mucked it a little bit, but learning curves.
It's a learning
Anyway,
experience.
It's first episode.
So I think-
Everything fails on the first episode. All right.
but I think 9 points has got to be the standard out of all those 3. Yeah, I think that's just about all we got time for on this week.
What?
No,
I want.
Hang on. We
Hang
haven't
on.
talked about our next 3.
I want to talk about my next 2, and they're big games. They're bigger than all of yours.
Bugger.
That's just hurt. No, okay. First episode, we're extending it. All right. Over an hour. We said we were going to do an hour podcast. I'm sorry, but we're just we would talk too much about.
There'll probably be a bit to cut out anyway, so it's fine.
Yeah, it was. Right. Okay. We'll get on. We'll continue where we left off before David was like rushing to eat his dinner or something. I don't know.
I'm hungry.
He's got his chicken for dinner.
Okay, so Aston Villa, your next games are Chelsea, Newcastle,
Chelsea,
and Wolves.
Newcastle, and Wolves.
2 at home, 1 away. What do you think's going to
Oh,
happen?
please be firm. Please, for the love of God, please.
I mean, I was going to go to the Chelsea game live, but obviously can't do that anymore. So
Wasn't I
very
I know,
disappointed
wasn't
about that.
I was going to say I wanted to go to that with you, but obviously I was busy.
Yeah. I think purely depends how we do against Sheffield United and how that will affect.
That'll affect
If we do well,
yeah.
that
Like
can then lead on to us doing well against Chelsea. Realistically, if Chelsea won their game, I think we could lose that one. I think we could get a win at Newcastle. That's just me probably being hopeful, but we beat them 2-0 at our place, so why not?
Did you? Oh my god! You
And
did. Okay.
I think we can get a draw against Wolves. The rivalry, but it's not a rivalry. It's just our closest rivals or our closest team, because West Brom and Birmingham are lower leagues.
Yeah. So you're going for a Chelsea loss, depending on if
Morale.
morale. So you're going to go for Chelsea loss at home, a Newcastle win away,
And a draw.
and a draw at Villa Park with Wolves.
Yeah. So 4 points. And we need 15 more points to get to the magic 40. So that's 5 wins across 10 games, which is possible.
Yeah, possible, but realistically,
I don't know. It really depends how we restart, as I said.
yeah. Obviously, you have to take into the account of
as we said, there's a lot of variables and different things.
yeah, this whole coronavirus situation's thrown this whole world into like this, not alternative world, but you know what I mean. It's like it's.
Yeah.
I'm making it sound like it's a Marvel. I'm making it sound like it's a Marvel film. It's really not. But no, this whole
No, I get what you mean, though.
This whole situation is flipped the world not upside down. It's not gone to terrible, but it's still horrifically bad. But it's ruined schedules. It's messed people's times up a bit, and
also,
go on.
sorry, I'm just going to say also that we've also got to play the FA Cup and both of the European Cup games. So that's also got to be factored in.
Obviously, that will be covered probably in the next couple of episodes, whenever there's more information on that. But I think we'll move on to the final fixtures. My team, West Ham's fixtures. Obviously, I've mentioned there will be a draw at London Stadium with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Then we travel to Spurs at their somewhat new ground. It's been a year old now, isn't it?
Bit over,
A bit about that. Obviously, last time, first team to score away at the Tottenham Stadium, first team to win at the Tottenham Stadium. Come on, you Irons.
Oh, sorry.
Ooh. Wait, let me change the screen. Ooh. But no, I think we will beat Spurs. I don't care. We are beating Spurs 2-0.
Good.
Good.
I agree with the statement.
Because I mean, although we lost, what was it, 3-2 earlier this season before this whole behind closed
That
doors.
was Jose's first game, wasn't it?
Jose's first game, and yeah, okay, yeah, we lost, but we could win a game at theirs. Who knows? But I'm going for.
And again, no atmosphere at the new Tottenham Stadium.
They have no atmosphere there anyway. So
60,000 seats just empty. It's just a bit.
It's gonna be so weird. So yeah, I am going for a West Ham win at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I don't know why I changed my voice then. Final game of these kind of fixtures that we're going to cover for this episode is West Ham at home to play Chelsea. Now,
Two London derbies.
I think although we only have 3 fixtures and you guys have 4, West Ham's fixtures are a lot more entertaining than your 2.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Because that's 2 London rival games, and the fairly decent game that we're going to get smacked like 3-0 against Wolves. But beside that, I'm going to go for a Chelsea draw at home. Going off because we did a goalless draw. Last season. Fabianski with the amazing face save. I always remember.
Oh, yeah.
We saved it with his face. That was so funny.
Yeah.
But no, I think we beat them out theirs earlier this season. About was it February? Was it November, December time? Can't remember now.
Yeah, right.
It's been so long. But no, yeah, I think West Ham will go for a draw, a 1-1 draw again. I'd say.
Interesting.
So okay, we'll briefly just go over. So you're gonna go for the Arsenal fixtures. We've gone. So David, you've gone for an Arsenal win at Man City.
No, I went for 2-2 at Man City, and then I went for wins. So 3 points in all the other games.
I was not listening. Don't really care about Arsenal, but yeah.
You're probably holding your dog or something at the time.
But no, okay. So you've gone for 10 points out of those fixtures. From a possible 12. Did I do maths right? Yes, I did. Good. Aston Villa's fixtures.
7 out of 12. A win at Sheffield United. And 4 points.
So you're going to go for a win at Sheffield. Oh well, win against Sheffield.
Yeah.
A loss against Chelsea.
Loss against Chelsea.
A draw against Newcastle.
A win against Newcastle and a draw against Wolves.
Very optimistic. I like it.
You got to be, haven't you? Otherwise, you just.
And then what is it? 3, 4. I'm going to go 3 points out of the possible 9 with West Ham's type of fixtures. I think, yeah.
I think
that's
just about.
That sounds good.
David, your internet ruined this podcast. Why? No, you you didn't ruin it. I'll save your ass somehow.
Right, funny.
Who wants to outro this? David, do you want to outro this?
Yeah, the intro always.
You introed it. We'll let you outro it.
Anyway, that's all we've got time for, guys. So be sure to like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Give this video that big thumbs up. Get us that YouTube money.
Well, David, it won't be a good couple of years until we get money from this channel, and it won't be much, honestly. It's just.
And also say as well, anyone who does watch, comment down below of things that we could talk about in future episodes.
Yes,
any rating lists we could do.
Link us.
Give us things.
Give us content. Give us content, and we will provide.
But yeah, make sure to follow us on Twitter, Shot on Target 1.
And obviously, give us suggestions on there as well.
Yeah,
feel free to DM. I'm ruining your intro. David, you got the last sentence. Go on. Off you go.
Oh, it's not an intro, it's an outro. But anyway, that's all we've got time for. Thanks for watching, and good.
Thank you.
Peace.